Hello, race fans, and welcome once again to another high-octane episode of Trackside, proudly presented by Document Technologies. Document Technologies provides a comprehensive range of managed solutions, including multifunction devices, managed print services, and document management software. They're also known for their fast service, boasting an average response time of 2 hours or less, and offer high-quality product multifunction devices alongside document management and cloud hosting software. Stay tuned, racing enthusiasts, because the action starts right now, right here on Trackside.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. We're so glad to be here with you again. I'm Terry Turner. Right there is Randy Dye. So, Randy, I'm going to start the program with a question. You ready?
Yes, sir.
There was some hesitation there, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you detected
Well,
that.
because I don't know what the question is, but here we go.
Okay, so I am not going to mention any names, but there was a very famous politician on the floor of the House that and it was 10:30 in the morning. I'm not going to say anybody's name this time, but it seemed like that they were heavily under the influence of Sugarland Partners and Richard Petty as they launched the Petty Punch Moonshine. So seriously, ladies and gentlemen, the Sugarland Distilling Company announced that this week that they're teaming up with NASCAR legend Richard Petty, this time to launch Petty Punch Moonshine. This vibrant, full forward shine pays homage to the King and his legendary career. Now, there's a shadow of Richard Petty with his hat and glasses on the. I don't know if you've seen this yet. You probably have, Randy, but it's there. It's going to be officially launched on August the 8th at Sugarland's downtown Gatlinburg distillery, and fans will have the opportunity to meet Richard Petty in person. He's going to spend 2 hours, Randy, from 2 to 4 p.m. that day to meet the fans, and as you've seen him do, we saw him do it at your dealership some years back, to roll this out. I'll go on to say it's crafted with a blend of juicy fruit flavors with a smooth, sippable finish. Petty Punch is available in a 750 milliliter jar, perfect, featuring an unmistakable silhouette of the King on the label. Petty Punch checks in at 50 proof. So we could probably run a race car on it. I don't know, Randy, but I would advise politicians to stay away from it. We may, in the future, ladies and gentlemen, sample it on the program. Can't guarantee it, but we'll see. And we will do it without slurred speech. Randy, I want to flip this over to you now. After all that.
Well, you do now. Well, that's nice. I appreciate you doing that. I think a couple things come to mind for me. As long as I've been around the Petty family, it is always a bit odd for me when there's some sort of a Petty alcohol connection, because when the King's mom was alive, they were not allowed to run any alcohol sponsorship on their race cars. In fact, Richard Petty was not, he didn't run the contingency logo of the Busch Clash or any of those because his mom, and he would say his mama, didn't allow that to happen. And so there were times when Richard Petty won the pole and was not able to collect the award and was not able to compete in the Busch Clash because the Busch Pole Award obviously was sponsored by Anheuser-Busch, the Busch brand, and
right.
And so if you don't run the decal and you don't sign up for the contingency awards, you don't get to participate no matter whether you win the competition or not. So this is always odd to me, albeit, you go back to Richard's dad, Lee, and the time that he raced was during that whole time of moonshine, alcohol running, Junior Johnson and that crowd up into on the dirt roads with the fast cars, and some arguably would say that's how NASCAR was born. I think there's a little bit more to it than that, but I would just say this. But if it's got the Petty name on it, it's probably going to taste good.
I bet it certainly will. And I don't, of course, know at all one way or the other, but it seems to me that Richard Petty, the proceeds that he would receive from, we've got, sitting in my studio right now, I'm looking at it, his rye whiskey that came out a while back, thanks to you getting that to me. And but I would say that his proceeds would probably go to his ranch for kids, or something used for good, knowing the family and his raising. It reminds me of my grandmother, very strict, stayed true to principle, would not back down type of thing, which is like Mama was for Richard Petty, I'm sure. Anyway, pretty cool deal, Randy.
I like it. I kind of think it's a little bit of irony. To be honest with you, in all the time that I've been around Richard Petty and there's many opportunities to have lunch or dinner or whatever, I have only seen him drink a glass of wine with dinner or lunch. So, but he's 88 years old. There's a pretty good reason why his veins aren't clogged up. So let's see.
Exactly right. No doubt about that. So,
yeah, anyway. I love him though, man. I love him. You know that.
Well, absolutely, and he sure has a love for the fans. Again, at 88 years old, standing and shaking hands and signing autographs, etc., from 2 to 4 p.m. That day on August 8th in the middle of the summer at Sugarland is a typical Richard Petty. You know him well. I think you'd agree.
I think Richard Petty, I've said this many times over, all sports, not just racing, all sports could look at Richard Petty and use him as a model of the way that an athlete, a competitor in the sport should deal with fans and sponsors. Nobody does it better. He still draws a big crowd. And if the advertised time is 2 to 4, I promise you, if there are people still in line at 4:30, he'll be there signing.
Yeah. Yep. Again, witnessed this before. There's no doubt about that. Before we move on, speaking, and you said the word athlete, just got a press release about 20 minutes ago, I guess, that we lost Hulk Hogan. Passed away today.
Yeah.
An incredible athlete. I'm not a big WWE fan, a wrestling fan, etc., but he certainly represented athletes very well.
So it's interesting. I have a very good friend from the west coast of Florida that was a very, very good friend of Hulk's. And a matter of fact, I just talked to him. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate. He had a surgery a little over a month ago for a heart valve replacement, and the recovery didn't go all that well. There's some other stuff that maybe the care that he got afterwards wasn't exactly the way it should have been, but they seem to have gotten that fixed. And he actually just went to the doctor a day and a half ago just a regular checkup. His comment to our mutual friend was how good he was feeling and how everything was getting better, and he was happy. Now, don't misunderstand me. He didn't move around as well as he used to, because that takes a big toll on your body. But it's a loss. But Roy is the guy that's the Hulk's friend and my friend. he said, for sure, and I think this is important news to tell. I don't know that it'll be told. He said he was close to Jesus, and he's definitely closer now. So that's I think there's some comfort in that.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt he's come out of late talking about that. Matter of fact, the picture that was attached to the press release, he has a John 3:16 shirt on. So hey, you take guys like him, take someone that I respect no matter what, always, that has gone to be with the Lord, John MacArthur, that we lost in the last week, one of the finest pastors in the world. So yeah, arms of Jesus on these guys right now. Yeah, they're in a lot better shape than we are, Randy. There's no doubt about that. Anyway, he will be missed. And one more comment since we're talking about that. Looking at some press releases I got on Ozzy. I was a big music fan, still am. Of course, I was in high school when Black Sabbath came out, but a lot of stuff that I have say that Ozzy Osbourne himself turned his life over to Christ. So I hope that is true as well. So,
as do I.
Mark and I were talking before we went on the air. We lose people. Lost a great guy in the construction industry in Flagler County this past week. He was 82 years old. So I guess, Randy, you and I would agree, the older we get, the more good folks we're going to lose, and the more good folks we're going to see gone, right?
That's right. That's the truth. Yep, I think that's the truth. And hopefully we know where they are, and by the grace of God, we'll get to see them again. Exactly
right. Well, Randy, let's talk. I like to get a Daniel Dye number 10 update each week. A local hero, and not having the greatest of luck. Again, looked like this last week the 10 was struggling a little bit. He was back in 33rd, 35th, got worked his way back up, finished at 19th, but just didn't look like he had the car behind him again. Tell me if I've lost my mind or if the TV was playing tricks on my eyes.
Well, I think what it was, we were in practice, and we knew we had to make some changes, and they made a change, and it got better, but they didn't make a big enough change, and so I spoke with the crew chief, and he took it all on. He said, this is on me. And you could see it. The car was just too tight, and when it's too tight, it's very difficult to be able to throttle up because it wants to push the car, up and out of the groove and up and out next to the wall, and so you're not able to get all the way open on the throttle and go. So the 16, basically, those cars were doing about the same thing, and then the 16 made the adjustment, and they freed it up, and the 10, well, we didn't, and so I say that, and it has been a bit of these last few weeks, except for Atlanta, in there where we were pretty good, pretty fast. It's been a little tough. The road course stuff, we had a lot of mechanical issues on the road course stuff, and I'm talking about like just stuff not working. This time it was more of a setup. We're going back. We're going to Indianapolis. Daniel raced there last year. One of the 10 Xfinity races they ran and finished. I think it was 7th. So we're hoping to go back to Indy with a little more of an independent style setup, closer to the notes that we had a year ago, and see if we can't get going and get this luck turned around. Some of it is luck, and some of it is self-made luck, and we've got to get better in the communication and doing the stuff we need to do to go fast. There's a little bit of an interesting dynamic that Colleague deploys when they go to the races. When they go to the racetrack, all 3 Xfinity cars are set up identical, and quite honestly, I've had some debate about this. I'm not a big fan of that because not every race car driver drives the same,
right.
And not every race car driver wants to adapt to a setup. It's just not their style. So that is that's a condition that I think I believe we need to change. We need to be able to go to the racetrack that best suits the 10, the setup that best suits the 16, and the setup that best suits the 11,
right.
Even if that means they're all different. And
Agreed.
and I know that what you do, and for me, is I look across the competition and say, who's the best team in the Xfinity Series right now? And there's no doubt who it is. It's JRM, Junior Motorsports. Yep. They go there with 4 cars every week, sometimes 5, and every setup is different. So that's part of what I believe should be occurring. The other one is Joe Gibbs, and same thing. They set the cars up to the driver, not the driver to adapt to the setup. And so we're working on that.
Well, I've never driven a race car, but let me ask you in this vein, because you've been there too. That'd be like at college baseball. They come into and say, "Look, there's one bat. Everybody's using the same bat." I mean, hey, my bat was my bat, and I had confidence in that bat. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, it made me feel stronger at the plate, knowing that this is my bat. This is what feels comfortable to me. My grip, the way my stride was. Golly, I'm like kind of shocked to hear this because it doesn't make any sense to me. Again, I've never driven a race car, but wow.
Yeah, I can really identify with that bat thing. I don't know about you and the kind of bat that you use, but I kind of preferred a little thinner handle. I liked having the where I put my hands to be that part of the baseball bat to be a little bit thinner. And I was probably, in terms of the weight, because it's the baseball bat, how much it weighs, how long it is, and then the shape of the handle. Those are the things that you pretty much are trying to. Some guys get into the color, but I didn't care about the color of my bat. I don't know about you, but I even the knob. Remember how the knob could be, because we all use wooden bats. I mean, the way the knob was crafted, that was all part of the things that when I was playing, that I considered. And if I grabbed somebody else's bat, I didn't have the same feel, and you're absolutely right, I didn't have the same confidence as I did in my bat. And then you remember how about you, when you ever broke your favorite bat?
Yes.
The world was ending.
Yes. Well,
right.
As a matter of fact, I always try to at least have 2 of my bats there, but yes. Louisville Slugger made several different bats and styles because there's different players. There's different drivers in race cars. I'm getting so mad now I can't hardly see straight again. Come on, man. Yeah, Randy, you got to petition them. I mean, well, again, I don't know what I'm talking about because I haven't driven a race car, but I can imagine, okay, well, this is the setup, and you guys got to fit to it. That doesn't make any sense. Whew. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Well, I think we're getting ready to be able to move away from that a little bit, and and I'm hopeful. But the other thing, now, to be fair, if you're colleague racing, you got 2 rookies,
right,
and you're trying to understand where they are. But I think we've spent close to half the season, and it's time to kind of individualize this process a little bit. I'm not being critical. I'm just telling you the way it is.
Yep. No, I get it. Let me ask you this. Does the crew chief in these cars, Daniel is on the radio, and hopefully the crew chief's asking him about, is it too tight? Is it too loose? Do they listen to the drivers and make adjustments per what the driver is telling them, hopefully? Yeah,
so what they do, they have they listen to the driver. He's communicating, he's telling what's going on. They're always asking the question. You'll hear this on the radio if you listen. How's the balance? And that's is the front end working? Is the rear end working? Are they working together? where are we good, where are we bad. It also depends on the racetrack, what the situation is, and then they compare that to the telemetry that they have watching the race car via the computer, and especially if those two comments, the data matches the commentary, they're going to go at it and try to make an adjustment. I will tell you that in the case of Dover last week, Dover is a very unforgiving racetrack, very unforgiving, and I think our crew chief was a bit conservative in his adjustment because he was afraid to make it too free. So as a result, it ended up being too tight. So, Indianapolis this week, I mean, golly, it's a whole different, whole different animal. It's really made for heavy downforce cars, and the Xfinity is not a heavy downforce car. So
right.
We'll see what kind of setup they put under it. Practice is tomorrow. Well, it's past us. Sorry, I got it backwards. Qualifying is tomorrow. That's what I meant to say. Different setups versus qualifying. It's a pretty solid 50 minutes was a 50-minute practice session, and then then it's just good, get out there and go run your qualifying lap and park it and be ready for the race about 3 hours later.
Gotcha. Well, it should be exciting. That's quite a racetrack. We'll see what's going on, and hopefully they get it right. No doubt about that. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's roll on. Let's roll into the local segment of the Trackside program.
One Daytona, located across from the world's center of racing, is proud to present our local segment, where we talk with a local star in your part of the country following a big win, event preview, and much more. One Daytona in Daytona Beach is a vibrant destination offering an array of shopping, dining, and entertainment options, including unique events and live music suitable for families and individuals alike.
Hey, race fans, Volusia Speedway Park is off this weekend. They will return on August 29th through the 31st with the Labor Day Classic Test and Tune. New Smyrna Speedway got the races in last Saturday night with the J&C Great All Modifieds winner in Feature 1 and 2, Jerry Simons. And the Ashley Holmes Jacks Trucks feature, George Gorman Jr. gets that win. In Mon Minis, Brandon Morris. And in Bomber B's, Zach Curtis. New Smyrna Speedway back in action Saturday night with the July Family Fun Night Beach Pass, $5 general admission. You'll be able to see E-Mods, Super Stocks, Bomber Rays, Bomber B's, 602 Mods, and spectator races. Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola will return to racing on Friday, August 8th, featuring, and you don't want to miss it, the Demolition Derby, along with Modified, Sportsman, Crown Stocks, and Pure Stocks. In NASCAR at Dover last Saturday, Connor Zilic gets that win, and an impressive win it was. That'll be his fourth career win in the Xfinity Series. By the way, Connor Zilic just had a birthday. He just turned 19. And Denny Hamlin, the winner in the Cup Series, says about Connor Zilic, he may be the best rookie he's ever seen. And the trucks return tonight in Indianapolis at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. That race starts at 8 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Xfinity Series at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway tomorrow at 4:30. That'll be on CW. The Cup races on Sunday at 2 p.m. on TNT. All right. Well, it's good to have the trucks back, Randy, in action. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Connor Zilic in the Xfinity segment of that. But, man, just turned 19-year-old, a pretty impressive individual, I think you'd agree.
Oh, without a doubt. I think it was interesting. I hadn't heard this before, and maybe it was I just wasn't paying attention, but it's the conversation is that Connor Zilic wants to go be an F1 driver, and so that would be a terrible loss to the NASCAR world if that were the case. I kind of hope that it's not the case. I love the fact that a young guy like him is just really doing what he's doing and how good he is. I think he's good for the sport. It's exciting. People are enthused. They like to watch him. So I hope he stays around in the NASCAR world. But that's what the conversation is. As far as the Denny Hamlin's comments go, I mean, without a doubt, Denny Hamlin's seen a lot of rookies. I don't often agree with that perspective, but I would have to say this time, it's been a long time since I've seen anybody that good, that young, that new to the sport, that good.
Well, you being a historian, that may take you back to the early days of Jeff Gordon and some of those guys. There's no doubt about that. But, again,
he's better than Jeff Gordon.
Yeah. Well, and he's best friends with Jesse Love, so you got two competitors right there and two amazing young stars. Yeah, to me, and I hate to say this, but to me it would be a waste to see him go to F1. And so I will escape that comment, ladies and gentlemen, and go right into the truck section of the Trackside program. Here we go.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR are next up on the agenda, presented by Aaron Delgado and Associates. With over 110 combined years of experience in criminal defense and personal injury, Aaron Delgado and Associates takes pride in vigorously representing clients in various challenging legal situations within the community. Now, let's go trucking.
Hey, Randy, this is some good news. I'm sure you're already familiar with this. McAnally Hilgman announced this week that Christian Eckes will return to the Craftsman Truck Series for 2 races in the number 16. He'll be there on August 15th. Let's see here. Yeah, Richmond on August 15th and New Hampshire on September 20th, back behind the wheel of the 16th. So that's a 5th entry for McAnally Hilgman, and a good one at that. That's good news for the team, good news for everybody, and you're pretty familiar with Christian Eckes and what a great driver he is. It'd be neat to see him back in the truck.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to watch him. He did a great job. He did about everything you could do in the Truck Series except win a championship. He was right there, very successful. He liked the trucks liked him. Bill McAnally runs a class program. I have a lot of respect for them. I talk to Bill on a regular basis. I consider him one of the good guys in the garage area, and that's kind of like a family reunion there for Christian to go back to McAnally Hilgman Racing for, even though it's just a couple races. I think they'll be good. Christian's a good driver. He'll probably feel like he never left. That's my take on it, for sure.
Well, he could certainly win both of those races, Randy. You never know what's going to happen, of course, on the racetrack, but he's certainly capable of winning in a truck.
No doubt. Hey, speaking of trucks, and I don't know whether you already have this planned, but I got to tell you about what's going to be at Daytona Dodge. You let me know when you want to talk about that.
No, let's do it right now before we go to the break. I have a feeling that I know what you're going to say, but I wasn't going to say nothing until I know. So tell me what's happening.
Yeah, so we're going to have here at our dealership at Daytona Dodge from August the 12th through the 22nd. So that's 10 days. We're going to have here, we're going to call it kind of the Ram Jam. And we're going to have the NASCAR Craftsman truck that was part of the reveal and the announcement of Ram returning to NASCAR that they did in Michigan on June the 8th. It'll be here on display. You're going to be able to come down and get your picture taken. We're going to have pretty cool, unique T-shirts if you decide to go for a ride in a street Ram, and then we're going to have tickets for next year's Craftsman Truck Series race at Daytona. There's going to be a grand prize drawing to be able to sit on the pit box and have hot passes to the race. It's going to be a 10-day event of just welcome Ram back to NASCAR. And getting ready here for Daytona in February. But we're going to be doing it August the 12th through August the 22nd.
That is fantastic, no doubt about that. It's perfectly named, the Ram Jam. Radio station group is going to be there live, and we'll be talking to it a lot about it on the air on all the stations. So, what a cool opportunity to get your picture made with with the cool vehicle. What a great idea! This is a great kickoff, and a lot more to come down the road as we get closer for Ram being back in trucks, Randy.
We're excited to do it. It's been a long time coming. We might end up with a couple of drivers stop by. I'm not telling you that they're necessarily going to be drivers of the Ram truck, but it is kind of our summer speed week or speed weekend at least, and who knows who might stop by and you get your picture taken or get them to sign an autograph.
Yeah. Just wait and see what's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep you posted. With that, we are going to take a quick break. We have lots more to talk about, including why is Chase Elliott riding in an F-18? Yeah, we'll let you know. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Trackside.
Introducing the all-new tractor and outdoor power equipment section at DeLand Motorsports and Outdoors. Now you can gear up for your outdoor projects with premium brands like Bobcat, Massey Ferguson, Shindaiwa, Echo, and more. Need a powerful lawnmower for that perfectly manicured lawn? They've got it. How about a rugged tractor to tackle those big projects? DeLand Motorsports and Outdoors has you covered. And let's not forget the Lawn and Garden Center with everything from weed whackers to chainsaws. Commercial or residential, DeLand Motorsports and Outdoors has the goods to keep you moving. So why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? Visit DeLand Motorsports and Outdoors today at their new location and explore the thrilling world of outdoor power equipment. DeLand Motorsports and Outdoors, where the thrill of the ride meets the power of the great outdoors. Your journey begins here.
Welcome back to Trackside as we now take a look under the hood in the NASCAR Xfinity Series presented by Daytona's Garage. Daytona's Garage offers more than just standard dealership customization. They provide a comprehensive range of services for personalizing and enhancing cars, Jeeps, and trucks of any make and model, focusing on both aesthetics and performance with affordability. Reliable service. Now, back to Terry and Randy.
Randy, let's look at Dover really quickly, and then I want a couple of more thoughts on Connor Zillage. Get this. The CW Network had 1,047,000 total viewers for the race on Saturday. That is up a whole bunch, up 19% over Fox Sports 1 in late April viewership of last year. Hey, that's good news. Again, CW doing a great job. Some great drivers, of course, in the Xfinity Series. I mean, there's so many of them, it's hard to cover them all. But this is good news, good ratings right there.
Well, it is, and I think it would have been even better had it not rained out. So,
yes,
that's always tough for TV to overcome, rain delays. So I think they do a great job. I like the broadcasting. I like the consistency of when they're on and where they're on, and all of that. So, not a surprise. Really enjoy it. I still think, not that they're listening, but that maybe there's some lessons that the Cup Series could take on that same level of consistency. But anyway, we're certainly enjoying how good the CW Network does for the Xfinity Series.
Yes, well, no, I'm not even going to say it. That's okay. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to go there. Right. Let's talk Zillage. With his win, that gives him the best in the series, and 4 wins, best in the series. He's now on an 8-race top 5 streak that includes 3 wins, 3 runner-up finishes for an average of 2.25. He's led laps in 15 of the last 20 races. So Connor Zillage, amazing. I can't imagine him going to F1. Before you told me that, because I had not seen that, I was asking, let's don't move him right up to Cup. Let's let him have another year of Xfinity. But I guess we'll see what happens. What a great example for the sport, and I'm sure he's bringing new. These young guys are bringing new fans to the sport. So, man, I hope it all goes like it is.
Well, I think, I think, and I don't want to take anything away from Connor Zilic. I think, again, I'll say I tend to agree with what Denny Hamlin has said about Connor Zilic, but at the same time, you also have to give credit to Junior Motorsports. They are week in and week out providing really, really good stuff. I mean, they go there every week with a chance of winning. I mean, I think the Junior Motorsports, chance of winning a race each week is higher than any other organization, maybe any other 2 or 3 organizations combined, because that's just how good they've got it going on right now.
Yep.
And and I would tell you to put that in perspective, Connor Zilic has run a few Cup races and not very successfully. So I'm not in any way taking anything away from Connor Zilic. I am saying, though, it is a team effort, and Junior Motorsports is doing their part. Clearly, Connor Zilic is doing his part. And to that point, it tells you how absolutely difficult it is to run in the Cup Series.
Exactly.
It's tough.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but congratulations to Connor and Junior Motorsports.
Well, and to my point, let's leave him in the Xfinity Series for at least another year. And again, the number 7 is leading the pack, and as far as the standings are going. So Justin Allgaier still number 1. So yeah, you make a great point. Junior Motorsports is racking it in, no doubt about that. With that, we got lots more to cover, so let's roll right into the Cup section.
UniFirst presents Conversation about the NASCAR Cup Series, the pinnacle. In auto racing, just like Cup, UniFirst is also the leader of the pack as the uniform and facility service experts. Let's go back to our hosts, Randy and Terry.
Well, Randy, lots of stuff still going on in the lawsuit. Just touching base a little bit with it, and it's going to lead right into a rule change that's just come out. Denny Hamlin was interviewed on Saturday at Dover, and he was asked, what are your thoughts on running an open team, and are you worried about Tyler Reddick's contract being lured away to another team? And his comment was, or his answer was, I don't have any direct comment to that. All I can tell you, and this will be my blanket answer for all the questions about this, if you want answers, you want to understand all of what's happening, come out on December 1st, and you'll get the answers that you're looking for, where it's all going to be exposed. Next question was, has anything changed that made you second-guess your decision to file the lawsuit? And Hamlin says, not a chance. Last question, have you talked about running open cars and what it would mean if 41 cars show up? And he, again, says December 1st is all that matters. Mark your calendar. With that, and I'll let you comment, NASCAR has come out with a rule change this week, and they have updated the rule book to state that they will limit race entries to 40 teams with open teams based on owner standings. This would prevent 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports from missing a race. I don't think NASCAR did it as a favor for them, but at least this keeps them in the racing until the lawsuit is settled or while it's pending. So your comments on this, Randy, it continues to be on top of the news.
Well, so number one, I think as it relates to NASCAR's position on the owners' points, they have always, it is a customary business practice of NASCAR to always favor the owners' points. In other words, to provide a level of cushion to those who are constantly at the race, supporting the field, That's always been the case. I mean, it's been that way for as long as I can remember. So I think that it's not extraordinary what they've done. I think it's consistent with the way they've conducted their business. I do think maybe in the light of the circumstances, it's classy, but I think they look at this as from a bigger picture, that this is the way they've always done it. And so whether you agree or you disagree with the 2311 action regarding lawsuits and Front Row Motorsports and all of that, they've set that aside, and they still are basically favoring Front Row Motorsports and 2311 because they constantly come to every race with the number of cars they come with, and they want to make sure that those guys are in the field and somebody can't just come bump them. Now, the difference is, of course, what they get paid by being a charter owner versus a charter by being an open team.
Right.
So I think that's a really I'm not surprised. I also would guess that their charters will probably be held kind of in reserve until this whole thing is finished. And I don't think they're going to go run out and sell them like that. I think NASCAR is going to, let the circumstances play out the way that they are. And if whatever Denny Hamlin thinks he's got up his sleeve on December the 1st, well, I guess we'll all hear it at the same time.
Exactly.
I think the fans, you, me, people listen to us, the internet. I think generally people want it to be over with.
Correct. Yep.
No
doubt. It'll be nice to get it behind us, get us back to racing, and get this over with. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's right. I agree 100%. I think that's generally that's what the fans want, and I think that's what the stakeholders want. And for the most of the history of NASCAR, they've been immune from this kind of stuff. But hey, it's big business. We all know that, and I just hope that I don't know if all parties can benefit from this, but I guess maybe idealistically, I would hope somehow that everybody wins.
Exactly. That's what we all hope for, everybody to win. And how about this, Randy, on a much lighter note, and talking about winning, how about the Major League Baseball, Atlanta Braves, and Cincinnati Reds will play a baseball game with special uniforms on August the 2nd at Bristol. I'm looking at the layout. The outfield and the field is kind of wedged in between turns 1 and 2. I just didn't imagine how big the infield is there. But they have special uniforms for the Braves. They're still the classic uniforms of Cincinnati Reds and Atlanta Braves, but the numbers on the back of the jersey will look very similar to the numbers that are on the cars. They got a special hat, a special batting helmet, and of course, I think probably some of these things will end up being access to the public for sale. I don't know that for sure, but what a great idea! And I happen to be an Atlanta Braves fan. To see them at Bristol, Major League Baseball, Reds and Braves on August 2nd at 7 p.m. How about that, Randy?
Well, we were up there for the spring race, and they had the baseball stadium laid out in the infield. You could see the marks, and you understood a little better what they were trying to do. But to actually see it, not just paint marks, but actually the field, see the photographs, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. But Speedway Motorsports, which is now Marcus Smith and his team. Humpy Wheeler used to be a big part of that organization. They've always been on the cutting edge of promotion. You remember the football game they did there?
Yes.
They'll put dirt in there, take it off. I mean, these guys are they're out there. They are out there, and so I think a lot of people are going to be watching because it's definitely baseball in a different setting.
You better believe it. It's just amazing. Well, what's amazing is to have a whole lot of crazy people running these big organizations like your guys at Dodge, for example, and all the cool stuff they're doing. And let's just keep on going with this funness. Chicago street race, we talked about what's happening there and consideration, et cetera. They will not return to Chicago for the street race next year. They're talking to them about what to do in 27 possibly. There's a lot of talk about going back to Chicagoland. But let's just carry on, and then you can comment on this. So the street race not going to happen next year in Chicago. So it's going to go to San Diego, and it's going to go to the Naval Air Station Coronado in San Diego. It'll be a road course. Ben Kennedy says it's going to be approximately 3 miles. I've seen some sample layouts there. And, of course, you'll be able to see the bay. You'll be able to see the ocean. You'll be able to see a couple of aircraft carriers. You'll be able to see F-18s on the tarmac. They're saying that possibly part of the tarmac and the runways could be used in this. It's going to celebrate the Navy's 250th anniversary, Randy. And so YouTube has got a killer video. There's several drivers. Logano and Elliott are the main two that I'll focus on. They've got those guys taking test rides to see how tough they are. You got to watch the video, and I'm going to tell you more about how to get to it. But in fighter jets. Then it's got them. Logano's driving a 65 Mustang. All the drivers have got street cars, and they challenge them to elude the police on the track, which they did. So if you go to YouTube and you type in "top secret NASCAR's next mission starts now," you'll be able to see the video of the guys in the jets, which is an amazing thing by itself. So anyway, all 3 series, Randy, are going to be there. The Cup Series on Sunday, the 21st of June next year. Truck guys will be there on the 19th, Friday night, and, of course, the Xfinity guys on Saturday, June the 20th of 2026. But holy cow, to celebrate the Navy's 250th anniversary, what a way to do it. Naval Air Station Coronado in San Diego, which is a very historic base, by the way. Anyway, your comments on both these things, Randy. It seems like NASCAR just gets more creative and more fun all the time.
Well, it's certainly interesting. There's no doubt. I like this one in this regard. I mean, let's say this: if we're going to do a street race, then I like the fact that it's going to be probably less disruptive to the downtown. When you go to an airstrip or an airbase, that's less disruptive to the downtown community. So it's a pretty cool proposition. As crazy as these guys are, I can't wait to see when they say, "Hey, we're going to actually race on a boat." We're going to put one of those big aircraft carriers out in the ocean, and we're going to go out and race on the aircraft carrier. Can you only imagine? I could see. Let's see, who'd be the first one to push somebody out off the edge into the ocean?
Oh, that's a tough choice.
No, don't answer the question. That's good. It's a rhetorical question. Do not answer that. Yeah. But I think what a great place to celebrate the Navy, the Marines. Obviously that San Diego is where so much of the training takes place for the Marines, the Navy SEALs, all of that. So I think it's awesome.
Yes, that's right. Camp Pendleton is there also for the Marine Corps. But yeah, it is awesome. 250th anniversary. What a spotlight on NASCAR. Again, Randy, if you haven't seen the video, and ladies and gentlemen, go to YouTube and go to Top Secret. NASCAR's next mission starts now, and check it out. It is, well, we've heard me say this many times. I'm a pretty tough old guy, but this kind of brought tears to my eyes to watch the Navy interacting with Chase Elliott and Logano and NASCAR and all that they put them through. It was like, hey, are you guys tough enough to race on our base? Let's see. And stick them in an F-18. And, just an incredible setup. So much fun, so exciting. I think TV ratings will even get much better in 2026 with all this fun stuff going on, Randy.
Well, I think again, I think it's pretty cool to coincide some of this innovation, this creativity, and attach it alongside the 250th anniversary of our nation as well. So,
you bet.
I think it's going to be a cool year. Yeah.
Yep, and recruiting is through the roof, ladies and gentlemen. Big change. Everything's going really, really well as far as the military goes. With that, we have blown through our time again. We sure enjoy being with you. Get out to New Smyrna Speedway and enjoy family night out there. See some racing, and we'll see you right here next week on Trackside.
See you at the racetrack, everybody.
And with the checkered flag waving, we're wrapping up this week's edition of Trackside. Fear not, race fans, because we'll be back next week, proudly presented by Document Technologies. Tune in for a fresh new episode packed with engaging interviews, captivating conversations, and all the exhilarating moments you've come to expect. Until then, keep the racing spirit alive, and we'll see you next time on Trackside.